Apparently, the modern audience devs are very mad at Steam. This is a video by Hero we're gonna look into. I got no idea what awaits me. You know, the modern audience devs that make games for the modern audience, an audience that does not exist, which is why every single game of theirs fails. We're gonna look at it. I am curious what awaits me. I got no idea. We shall see. We will see what is going to be in this one. Yeah, we'll see.
So the other day I talked about Relooted. This game launched. It launched. Can you even call it a launch when it had like a peak player count of 57? That's more of like an instant fail. But yeah, Relooted launched.
Yeah, basically, it launched and it was dead immediately. There's also some other things. Have you seen the clip of like there is a character in this game that they haven't advertised at all? You know why? She's a fat black girl with in a crop top. And she looks horrendous. Not because she's black, of course, but because she's horrendously designed. Like most of these characters are horrendously designed. It's like they're making them ugly on purpose, 100%. They have to. They just have to. It's in their nature. Also, please consider liking and subscribing. I appreciate it. If you're here, thank you so much. It means a lot.
Got a max player count of 57, now it's 36 as of recording. And I saw some tweets from Gothic Therapy where they showcase a few tweets, or excuse me, a few Blue Sky posts from the CEO of Relooted, this Ben Myers guy. And in the screenshots of the posts, he is...
I recommend following Gothic Therapy. Pretty cool stuff.
Complaining about gamers and Steam and wanting to censor the Steam forums, but he's scared if he does, he'll get criticism for it, but he really wants to. And I went over to the guy's Blue Sky account and I couldn't find those posts actually. It looks like he deleted them. So I'll say, like, apparently he said this stuff because, you know, it's not there anymore, but the screenshots are still out there. And let me show you where this discussion really started. And it gets especially interesting, too, because we have a little cameo from a certain Chris Kindred, a name you might be familiar with if you follow.
Chris Kindred? I thought we've exiled this dude. I thought we've exiled that person. I guess not. Bro still lives.
The Sweet Baby Inc. news that was going around a while back. And so it all begins here with this TEG account on Blue Sky that says, "This is the Steam forum for Relooted, and it's all grave dancing rightoid culture war incels. Do you think Valve is ever going to crack down on this stuff? They allow this nonsense to fester on their platform, providing hate mongers a soapbox to spew vile racist BS. Deeply frustrating. Oh, it's so frustrating. I'm going to this forum and it's upsetting me, and I'm going there anyways and screenshotting it to complain on my..."
Yeah. I'm gonna say something. You don't have the right to not be offended. If it offends you, don't look at it. It's that simple. This is the people's opinion. And the people say your game is dog shit. It's that simple. It really isn't that hard. Your game's bad. That's why it has these bad reviews. I mean, the numbers speak for itself. I don't know how you can sit there and be like, oh yeah, peak numbers. 57 players? 57 players. Ah yes, wonderful game. It's doing so well. Incredible. Absolute victory. Woke left victory. Definitely.
My Blue Sky account. Could this guy have fit any more buzzwords in that post either? What is that, like 4 sentences? He managed to shovel so many buzzwords in that stuff. It's crazy.
Rightoid. Insults. Hate mongers. Racist. I think those are the 4. Unless we wanna... There's nothing. Nah. That's like the only ones I could see. Unless you want to say culture war is a buzzword.
And so that's where we can see these apparent responses from Relooted CEO Ben Myers. But before we take a look at all those posts, let me show you this one that I mentioned from Chris Kindred. It says, "We're here in this moment explicitly because Steam wouldn't do anything they didn't do any..." Wait a second, hold on. The phrasing here is really funny. Or either I read that wrong or the phrasing is really funny. Let me try again.
We're here in this moment explicitly Because Steam wouldn't do anything. They didn't do anything about this at the critical moment. Absolute abdication of responsibility. Yeah, I think the if anything, I think this section is fragment. Either this part, right? These two sentences, well, not sentences, these two lines, and this part fries me a little bit. My head is a bit. Something is wrong in this sentence. I just can't pinpoint it.
We're here in this moment explicitly because Steam wouldn't do anything. They didn't do anything about this at the critical moment. Yeah, the phrasing's funny. Absolute abdication of responsibility. Steam wouldn't do anything. They didn't do anything about this at the critical moment. The critical moment? What is that even supposed to mean, bro? What is the critical moment? These people are such drama queens. And so, as mentioned, Chris Kindred.
The critical moment doesn't exist. It in their mind, the best way to avoid this criticism or this quote unquote hate would be total censorship of the platform. That is the critical moment. The critical moment is at the start. Crazy, huh?
Is someone who was formerly a narrative designer at Canadian DEI consultation firm Sweet Baby Inc. And this is someone who previously advocated for censorship over on Steam because he was offended at the stuff gamers were saying there, and also offended that gamers were pointing out games that Sweet Baby Inc. had worked on. And so he didn't like that. He didn't like that transparency. He didn't like that people were saying, hey, SBI worked on this game, just letting you know. And he wanted anyone that would say such things banned. And not just banned, he even advocated for people's entire Steam accounts to get banned too. So to clarify, not just like banned on a Steam discussion forum, but their entire Steam account banned. Which, you know, would mean you lose your entire Steam library. All those games you spent money on, this guy wanted you to lose all that because you had the audacity to say, hey,
Yeah, problem is that you don't even own the games. Let's not forget, you don't own the games. Remember what is going on Steam still. You don't own your games, you own a license. I still find that very frustrating and very weird.
SBI worked on that game, just letting you know. That's how unhinged these people are. So it's a pretty funny little cameo here that we see Chris Kindred over in the Blue Sky echo chamber still advocating for censorship on Steam. This stuff with SBI happened years ago. I think it was back in 2024, if I recall. And to this day, man is still just that pressed over it all. And that takes us back to Ben Myers, the CEO of the dev studio behind this Relooted game, where Ben Myers is responding to this TEG person that we read a few minutes ago that said, this is the Steam forum.
I find it funny that on his Blue Sky account, right, he has to point out, right? He has to point out that he's a white guy. I find that so weird. Like, what has, like, that has nothing to do with anything, does it? Like, is it like you're trying to virtue signal in that way? Oh, I'm one of the good white guys? Shut up.
For Relooted, and it's all grave dancing right away culture war incels. Do you think Valve's ever going to crack down on this stuff? They allow this nonsense to fester on their platform, providing hate mongers a soapbox to spew vile racist BS. Deeply frustrating. And Ben Myers responds and says all this. Based on the torrid stuff they mark as not against terms of service when it's reported, I doubt they have much interest ever addressing this, which is particularly awful considering you can't turn off forums as a dev. This guy wants to turn off the Steam forum.
Yes, I want to turn off being hit by potential criticism. Yes, of course. Of course. That's what we're doing now, huh? That's what we're doing now. You can't do that. I don't want to be criticized. Don't do this.
On his game, brother. Those Steam forums have more active people there than your game does. TEG says, one solution I've seen other devs use is to lock the whole forum and leave a single locked thread pointing to a platform they have actual moderation power over.
Yeah, like imagine you have your people is hated by more people than actually play it. Concord, hi. I guess Hightail, not Hightail. What's it called? Highguard. What's it called? I'm pretty sure, right? Is already fucking dying, though that's not due to the, like, I guess it had a little bit of woke BS apparently going on, but like, that was mostly due to them being retarded. Oh no, a hero shooter. We haven't seen that, like, 10 trillion times before that. Surprised that it failed. Mid-game. Congratulations.
Just go to Reddit. Go to our subreddit. Maybe that's an option for y'all. Either way, deeply sorry you have to deal with this BS. 2014 never ends. Ben says, we'll look into it. Part of the issue, though, is that if you use your moderation powers
Well, we wouldn't be stuck at 2014 if you wouldn't have 2014 style games at this point.
to, if you use your moderation powers too much as a dev, then there is a cottage industry of YouTubers who make videos about your forums. And then that drives more bad faith actors there. Went through
Your hey called out. Interesting. Yeah. Surprise. Again, don't make these games. Don't get your ass beat for it. I feel like that's the most simplest way to put it.
this when we announced just it becomes a feedback loop of never-ending new accounts dropping in. Basically impossible to moderate the volume that occurs when that happens. And that's the end of it. So it sounds like what happened, speculating, is Ben saw that people were sharing these screenshots outside of Blue Sky, sharing them on Twitter/X. Some people already made YouTube videos about this. He deleted this stuff as some sort of like damage control or something. I don't know. Didn't want more people talking about it, more people making videos about it. But it's like, dude,
Streisand effect. The more you try to hide it, the more people are gonna find out. Stop. It never works. It never works. Even if you took down these posts, it never works. It just never has and never will. I'm surprised that he isn't aware of that. It's like really funny.
the screenshots are already out there. And now here we are. It's also funny where he complains that
If you post something and you post something stupid, some fucker out there will screenshot it and keep it forever. And from then on, it's gonna haunt you if it was actually dumb. This is one of these cases.
YouTubers, well, cover if devs censor gamers. And he frames it as like a cottage industry of YouTubers who will cover that stuff. And he's framing it in a negative light. But in reality, that just means that we're individuals working on our own, as opposed to industry people like him that have industry support and funding. And that's to say that it actually makes us look better, and he doesn't realize that, which is pretty funny. Something else funny is that Relooted and the people behind Relooted, like Ben Myers, have actually been accused of being racist themselves. People arguing that Relooted, the game, perpetuates racist stereotypes. And these people have said nothing about that stuff. But they're really quick to label gamers as racists.
Well, you can go in. That's because most of these games are racist stereotypes. I mean, some of these games, not even the the most how do you put it? The most racist person on the planet couldn't produce the amount of black caricatures that these games produce. There is no KKK caricature out there for black people that is as racist as these people that make these games. Oh, you made a game about Africa, black people stealing their stuff back from a museum. How ironic. Where that stealing is a black stereotype. That's a bit odd. That's a bit weird. Like, what are you doing? Not this game particularly, but I think like Sony, like is a publisher for a game like that. I think you can probably name it, right? You can probably name the game that I'm referring to. Probably, I'm assuming. But yeah, it's stuff like that. Like the most white nationalist couldn't produce these caricatures of black people. He couldn't. That's why I'm saying. I'm always saying leftists are more racist than any other group at times. It's funny.
Meanwhile, again, they don't address what people are saying about their own alleged racism. Instead, they're busy complaining about Steam forum posts and being worried that people will make YouTube videos if they censor their Steam forums. Reminds me of discourse in 2024 around Ubisoft and Star Wars Outlaws, where it was reported that Ubisoft was trying to pressure Steam to hide or limit the visibility of the concurrent player count for their titles. They were so humiliated that people could see the extremely low player count on their Ubisoft games. That they wanted that censored They didn't want people to be able to see that data, apparently. And so I'm just getting like similar vibes from this as well. You know, we see
They didn't want to. They didn't want to have others see their player count. Bro, you got, if it's that bad, you got to be actually ashamed of yourself when you're putting out there the kind of slop that you produce. God, I wish Ubisoft would go back to, like, you know, like this more edgy style they had at one point, right? Anybody remember the Prince of Persia Sands of Time trilogy, right? Like Prince of Persia, The Sands of Time, Warrior Within, Two Thrones. Anybody remember that? Now, they weren't amazing games, but they were decently fun, right? They were decently fun. Um, we're currently streaming Warrior Within, guys. Just saying. You want to check the stream out. Appreciate it.
this time and time again where some modern audience slop games come out and these people very quickly jump to a smear campaign or just outright censorship. The smear campaign was their old strategy. They'd contact their gaming journalist buddies, get some nonsense article written up. Oh, the gamers are chuds, blah, blah, blah. We don't deserve this. Like, no one cares about what gaming journalists have to say anymore, though. So, like,
Yeah. Gaming journalists are the bottom of the bottom. I don't even think there's a good one that exists. Maybe, who knows, in some way, shape, or form. Interesting though is to note that these same people don't realize that, yes, a lot of gamers and a lot of anime consumers, right? A lot of gamers though are young, like, men. They're dudes. From middle age to young men. Yeah, no shit, you're gonna hit an audience that's more resistant against indoctrination. Who would have guessed? You're literally making games for an audience that does not exist. Because most gamers are dudes. And yeah, don't fall for the, like, the statistics of, like, right, half of all gamers are women. If we remove mobile games, that drops to like 20% of all gamers are women. Maybe. And that also varies from genre to genre, right? You're gonna see more women in cozy farming games than like cozy farming games, just like, right, like Stardew Valley, Harvest Moon, whatever, right? Then you will see them in, like, you will see them much rarer in shooters, surprise, first person and stuff. You're gonna see more dudes even in JRPGs than women. It's just the truth. No shit, Sherlock. Funny.
of them still try that strategy and it just fails instantly because, again, no one cares about gaming journalists like that. And some of them don't even try it anymore. Instead, oh, how can we get Steam censored so people can't voice their opinions like this? Yeah, they would love if, like, people were forced to only use Reddit and they could have their, Reddit White Knight mods just remove any post, ban anyone that has a dissenting opinion. Anyways, yesterday was that High Guard dev that was all whiny and crying and trying to play victim. Now we got this Ben Myers guy. That's the industry for you. Well, this part of the industry, at least. Let me know what you guys think about all this.
Yeah. So to summarize, we just have a bunch of salty people being like, "Yo, how can we censor Steam because our game is bad?" That's really what it is. So here is what I believe. I know the solution to fixing your problems with Steam and gamers. Make better games. Shocking, I know, but it is truly a way to do it, right? There is a way to do it. It's making better games. That's all there is to it. Make better games, and people will not leave bad reviews. However, you're not able to do that because every single game you make has to be infused with one of your ideologies. That's really what it is. That's really what it is. That's what the industry currently is built on. Ideologies. Make games made for people that do not exist. Surprise, surprise. And then your game ends up having 57 players. Anyways, thank you for watching. Please consider liking and subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, guys.